Idolatry is when you take a certain idol, right, and you believe this idol is supernatural or can help you in any way.
Okay, then do you have to bow to Kaaba?
No, you don't. You can. If you don't know the way, you can.
No. If not if you don't know, can you know the way and choose not to?
No, you can't.
Oh, okay. So then you have to.
You have to, yeah.
In today's video on Eden Reactions, we're taking a look at a fiery debate from Big Jon Steel's channel, where a Muslim guest claims they worship the God of Abraham, and Big Jon fires back, saying that's actually Satan. From golden calves to Kaaba questions, it gets real fast, and ends with a disappearance. Let's dive in.
Do you know what Islam is?
Like the colloquial word?
Yeah, do you know what the religion of Islam is? Do you know what it means to be a Muslim?
Well, it depends. It depends on how you're using the word. If you're talking in a religious sense, it means, following the 5 pillars of Islam, not eating pork, not drinking, doing all those types of things. But if you're talking about the colloquial sense, what the word actually means, then it's just the worshiper of the one true God. Except I don't believe you worship the one true God.
Okay. Who do you worship? Who do you worship?
I don't think you worship anyone.
Okay.
If anything, it's Satan.
We worship Satan.
If anything, but you wouldn't know it.
We worship the God of Abraham, okay? We worship the God of Jesus. That's who we worship.
All right, let's talk about this. Saying we worship the God of Abraham and Jesus sounds like a unifying statement, but is it really? Because the moment you say Jesus isn't God, you're already clashing with the Christian view of who God is. In Christianity, Jesus is God. In Islam, he's just a prophet. So, if two people are calling on God, but mean totally different things, are they really talking to the same being? Or just using the same label?
Okay, can you prove it?
That's what we worship. Every day Muslims say, when Muslims are praying, we don't say we're worshiping God, we're saying the Lord of the worlds. Whoever created an existence, that's who we're worshiping.
Can you prove it's the Abrahamic God?
Yes, because I'll tell you how we prove it's the Abrahamic God.
Sure.
It's the Abrahamic God because we pray to the Lord of the worlds. So if the Lord of the worlds is all seeing and all hearing, then that's who we're praying to.
So do you know what a reverent is?
A reverence?
Yeah.
To revere something.
Well, it's basically who is receiving that. So it's like who it's intended to. So I can give, like, for example, there's lots of people in the world with the name John, right? But when you specifically are talking to John right now, it's probably going to be towards me. So there's could be lots of figures that claim the name of God or Allah. But the question is who is actually receiving that, who it's directed to, who are you actually following?
All right. So when you say it with the name John, I don't think it's the same because God is all-knowing and all-powerful. Sure. He can hear everything. So when we say God, we are worshiping you.
Okay.
God,
so
we are worshiping you.
Okay, so cool. So when the Israelites worshiped the calf and they thought the calf was all-knowing and all-seeing, the golden calf, were they worshiping God?
No, because they were worshiping the calf.
Okay, same thing. You're worshiping a false god.
I think you're kind of dodging it. Okay, the Israelites were directing.
You're dodging. I'm going to explain how you're dodging, because you're not actually directing the fact that it's towards a specific religion or it's towards specific practices. You're trying to use a vague statement of like, well, we just worship God. Okay, well, Christians can just say that we just worship God. Does that mean we worship the same God?
No, you worship Jesus.
Well, we just worship God.
You worship Jesus. Do you believe?
Well,
Jesus
you worship
is God,
Allah.
Right?
You worship Allah. Like
Allah is God, bro. Allah is God.
Jesus is God. Jesus is God, bro.
Go into a Christian
Jesus
Bible
is God, bro. You see the problem with the argument?
Okay. Listen. If Jesus is God, let's pretend.
No. Hold on. You're trying to escape the argument. I'm trying to show you a rhetorical goal of the argument, and now you're trying to dodge towards it's Jesus.
I'm not trying to dodge anything.
Yes, you are. So the rhetorical goal of the argument is you're not addressing the fact that you're not actually speaking of Islam. You're addressing the fact that you're speaking to like this vast ether of this idea of God. Right?
Yes,
if that's the case, hold on. If that's the case, then the modern day spiritualists, people who just say I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, also worship God, the Abrahamic God.
Yeah, if they're worshiping God, they're worshiping God. Islam is a way, it's a proof. If you're a Christian, if you're atheist, it doesn't matter what
Okay,
you are. You
are
say
those
God,
modern day
God will hear
spiritualists?
you.
Are those modern day spiritualists going to Gehenna?
Going to, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the Quran says they wouldn't be.
The Quran says that who would it be?
They would be the non-believers. They wouldn't be, because they do
Yeah,
not believe
if you don't believe in God.
in the. It's not about believing in God. The Quran says you have to believe in the Prophet and the word that was sent with them.
This one sounds really compassionate, but let's test it. If someone calls on God but doesn't believe in the Quran or the Prophet Muhammad, does Islamic doctrine say they're saved? The answer is no. So when the Muslim guest says God hears everyone, even spiritualists or other faiths, he's stepping outside of Islam's core teaching. That's not universalism. That's contradiction. And Big John catches it, because either you believe in one truth or everyone's truth is true, which doesn't really work.
Muslims worship God. Muslims worship God. It's as
Okay,
simple
well,
as
by
that.
your
No one
standard,
should be a
everybody
Muslim.
worships God.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
Buddhists
gonna
worship
explain to
God,
you, if you
Hindus
are,
worship God, modern
if
day
you
spiritualists, they all worship God according to your standard.
if you direct your reverence towards a particular entity, like the calf, they were worshiping the calf, right? Or you're Hindu, you worship Vishnu,
Okay,
or
well,
you're worshiping Vishnu or Buddha.
you guys bow to Mecca,
Yeah,
so
we
you're
don't we don't
worshiping a
believe the
particular
Kaaba is
direction
God.
and entity.
We don't believe the Kaaba is God. That is
They didn't believe the
a way
calf was
to
actually
bind
God
all
either.
Muslims together.
They didn't
Yes,
believe
they did.
no, they didn't.
Yes, they
It was an
did.
idol.
Okay, people who worship idols, they don't believe the idol is God. They
And what's
believe that this
Kaaba?
idol is God. That Kaaba is a way to unite Muslims. I've already explained to you the concept. It's just a way to unite Muslims. Nobody believes that this
What
Kaaba is
define
God.
idolatry?
Idolatry
Hmm.
is when you take a certain idol, right? And you believe this idol is supernatural or can help you in any way.
Okay, then do you have to bow to Kaaba?
No, you don't. You can
You
if you
don't?
don't know the way, you can
No,
pray
no, 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 no,
anywhere.
no. If not
Read
if
the
you
Quran.
don't know, can you know the way and choose not to?
No, you can't.
Oh, okay. So then you have to.
You have to, yeah.
Okay, so then why do you have to if it doesn't have any power?
We know it doesn't have any power. We
Then
know
why
it
do you
doesn't
have
have any
to?
power. As a way to connect all Muslims, imagine if everybody just said, I'm going
How
to
does that
pray
connect
any.
you?
How does it have you been to Mecca? How does it not connect us,
How
bro?
does it matter if I stand in my house and I bow towards Mecca and you stand in your house and bow towards Mecca? How does that connect the two of us?
Okay. Have you been to you go see the videos of Mecca? People from all around the world, okay? They come to
Yeah,
Mecca.
if people
It
gather
unites the
together, they're
Muslim
connected. They
community.
don't need to
Yes.
bow towards a specific rock to do that.
Yes,
But you're
okay.
not answering my
Okay,
question.
if we
How
were
does it
not praying
connect
towards
us
that
if we
direction,
both
why
in
would
our
we go?
house
If we were
bow?
not praying towards the Kaaba, why would
Linda,
we go there?
listen, Linda. How does it connect us if we both in our house bow towards Mecca?
This was one of the most interesting moments. Big John asked, "If the Kaaba isn't God, why do you have to bow to it?" The Muslim answered, "It unites us." Okay, but here's the catch. If it's just symbolic, why is it mandatory? Why does unity require physical direction? The Israelites were condemned for worshiping a golden calf, and that wasn't God either. So the line between symbol and idolatry starts to look a little blurry when reverence becomes ritual.
How does it not connect you, bro? You're praying towards the same direction. It's obvious.
Are you just going to answer my question with a question?
You're praying towards the same direction. That's how it
How does that
connects you.
connect us?
It connects you because you're praying towards
So
the same
hold on.
direction.
If we both take a shit at the same time, are we connected?
No one should be a Christian. No one should
Why?
be a
Hold on.
Christian.
Answer my
Nobody should be
question.
a
Does it
Muslim
connect
or a
us if we
Christian.
both take a shit?
No, it doesn't. But that's a false equivalency.
Well, then what's the symmetry breaker?
The symmetry breaker.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so when you gather at a mosque, right?
Okay.
When you gather at a mosque,
We're not gathering in a mosque. The analogy is we're
Okay,
both in
yeah.
our house, right? And then we both bow towards Kaaba, and that's supposed to connect us. But you said there's no power in the
didn't
Kaaba,
pray in
so
the same direction, if you didn't pray in the same direction, then what's the whole point? You need to think about it, okay?
I am thinking about
Let's say
what
that
connects us.
everybody just prayed in whatever direction they so chose.
Yes,
Even though
what's
God
wrong
in
with
the
you're
Quran
not
says
answering
that
the
He has the
question?
earth,
Why are
He
you afraid
has
to
the
answer the
east.
question? How does it connect us?
It connects. It connects you because you're all praying in the same direction. You're all
Okay, well then if we
spiritually
both take a
putting
crap
your
at the
energy
same
in the
time, we're
same direction.
connected.
It's not the same. Praying and taking a shit is not the
How is
same.
that not the same?
How is
Because
that?
you said
Oh, you
there's
don't
no
know. Okay,
power
so
in
right
the
now you don't.
Kaaba. That
Listen,
was your
listen. I
claim.
don't want you to go to church anymore. Just take a shit on Sunday. Just take a shit. Just take a jog. Okay, don't go because praying and taking a shit is
You
the
said
same
there's
thing,
no
right?
power in
On
it. I
Zoom
think there's
praying.
power in church. Oh, he left. Uh,
That debate had more twists than a telenovela. Golden calves, Kaaba questions, and a whole lot of it unites us. Whether you agreed or disagreed, one thing's for sure. Big John doesn't pull punches. If you like this breakdown, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more spicy reactions. This is Eden Reactions. And we don't just watch debates, we dive deep. See you in the next one.